that. Nice to see you all. Thank you for coming. For those of you who weren't here before, there's kind of an actual intent behind this. It's a little bit of a dual purpose thing tonight. But the main purpose is that we moved back into town and we wanted something where we could kind of share a little bit of culture with people, kind of in a low-key, no-stress sort of fashion for musicians that might want to play for an attentive and listening audience. And you look very nice out there, I must say. And then for other people that might not want to play but would just want to come listen to a little bit of a recital. The dual purpose is that this is only the second time that we've done it, and I'm still kind of getting a sense of who might be interested in attending and playing some music. And we've been playing some stuff for a while, and so I'm like, well, why don't I just do a set of my music? And the other part of that is that some of this music comes from a CD that I cut years ago. I don't even want to count, but
a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But these three guys have all played at least a part of the album. Dan back there did also. And as I was finishing up the recording of it, I moved away. And so I never actually had a CD release party. So this is it! Hooray! I released a CD!
Years ago.
But you might have noticed that there's a stack of CDs out there, and you are all entitled to one for free if you don't have one already. So please feel free to take one on your way out the door. If you've already got one, you can take one and give it to a friend. Other than that,
is it original music?
Mm-hmm. It's original music.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, thank you. So,
and you should play it on Spotify like a million times.
It's not on Spotify yet.
It's on Apple Music.
But it is on Apple iTunes if you want to buy it there, but why would you? You can get a CD.
So Kurt,
Yes.
everything tonight except for one?
No, 3 of the 8 songs tonight are from the CD.
No, I'm thinking originals.
6 are originals and 2 are not covers. Yeah, 2? Right.
Yeah.
And one of them's kind of a classic straight up, and the other one we did a little something with. So, thank you for being here.
Yay.
This, when the CD came out, it's like, you come up with your first batch of songs. You get your first batch of.
Sorry.
And then our lighting.
Are we having fun?
It's all part of the show.
If anybody wants this job.
It's all part of the show.
And I should tell you, much of this is unrehearsed, and so I apologize to my fellow players for getting freaked out if all of a sudden if things are really green or really it's gonna happen, but let's just roll with it.
Purple's not really my color.
But on the album, all the songs were kind of about relationships, and then I sort of tried to step away from that. And this is the first song that I wrote that was that was after the CD, and so this song is actually about dementia. This is an Alzheimer's song. It's not funny. It's funny. It's called On My Way Home. Good?
Yeah.
children's smiles in the corners of their eyes. My mother's hands, taste of wine. On my way home, on my way home, I'm on my way home.
Thank you. That was awesome. And a nice soprano sax solo there. What is this? Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
can you
Kurt,
turn
you
up
should
your
be-
vocals?
Yeah,
You should be
especially
higher.
when they're all playing. It's hard to hear you.
Yeah.
Hear you.
Right. Don't know how. Think about this. I do know how. I do.
I think I can.
We'll see if that works. Okay. We have a song about old friends now. And this is our biggest production ever. We have background vocals. Woo!
Well, we'll see. We'll see how sweet it is.
So this song, it came about back when I attended a reunion of an old singing group that I actually used to be in with Pete and JJ here. And you know, this was a college a cappella singing group, and the reunions happen, the years go by, and you see people that you used to see every day, and then you haven't seen them for years. One of them asked me, like, why are we such good friends anymore? And I had to think about it. It's like, it's not really that we're not good friends anymore. It's just sort of different. And thinking about that led to this song. Hey there, old friend. It's been a while since we have shot the breeze, and I think remembering when you weren't far away in those olden days. Now I have to go to reunions just to say, remember when, see you again, to pick up where we left off. But hey there, old friend,
to leave it behind. And I know it's time what we had in mind. We're picking up where we left off. Don't mean you're not a good friend. You're an old friend from those olden days gone by. We ain't day-to-day friends, not like back then. Never had to say goodbye. You wish you were different. Have to say, well, so do I. It just don't change us sometimes. Picking up where we left off. Stopping it when we leave. I remember being just around the bend. Most days we were near. It was easy to agree, but do we understand each other just as well as in those days before the years went by? It's those memories of ease that would I rely on when we don't get on the line. If we just don't find the time to pick up where we left off. Don't mean you're not a good friend. You're an old friend from those olden days gone by. We ain't day-to-day friends, not like back then. Never had to say goodbye. I know you wish you were different. Have to say, well, so do I. You just don't change it sometimes. Picking up where we left off. Stopping it when we leave. But I hope this ain't the end of the line. We don't need to leave it all behind. Maybe someday we'll find a way together on a Sunday. Drive out your lights, sit on the porch, play some card games. Sunny days, sweep the clouds away. We could be old Pete Wright and Justin Jaeger, ladies and gentlemen. Very nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, so now we're back to a couple of songs that, well, one that was on the CD that, like I said, the songs were kind of about relationships. This particular one was very much about the lack of relationships, because, you know, I was just thinking about dating and how horrible I was at it. I had no game, and it was very awful.
And this is what you get.
This
This is what you get when you have no game.
that was enough to me. She chose me. If it had been up to me, no way it would have happened. But so yeah, this is, you just kind of imagine being in a bar and seeing someone that you like and having no clue what to do. It's called Damn My Eyes.
down by the bar. I took the wood real tight, and as I find the air to breathe, and that was no slap that stopped me in my tracks. It was seeing you standing there. I gotta find a way to meet you now before you leave. You're in my eyes, my eyes. I close my eyes, I still see you. Damn my eyes. I gotta hold back because I'm straining hard. I can't handle being this intrigued. The tough thing about talking to you is playing it cool. I'm gonna bust you like a full charge. I'm thinking you're charged out of my league. You're gonna fly away in a field just like a fool. You're in my eyes. Pounce hard, I'm shutting you out. I gotta bring back something that'll give me a way to forget about all the ways you moved when I saw you fly away. I start to sway later to a heavy beat. I want my blood to change my mind, but after I pass out, there's just one thing that remains. Eric on tenor sax this time.
What about the tennis?
Nice. How many of you seen it? How many of you have seen that old movie, Blake Edwards movie, 10? Bo Derek?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I was like 15, man. I've seen it 1,000 times.
So I found that a very inspirational movie. Because, I mean, you know the one scene, right? Like there's that one really famous scene in 10 where Dudley Moore sits down and plays the piano. Yeah? No? Anyway, there's a scene. Really inspirational to me. So, what he did is he like, I don't know, he was depressed or something, and he went and found this piano in the middle of like a hotel room, and a lobby, I think it was, and he kind of took his recorder and he said, you know, like April 24th, something or other, and he sets it down on the piano, and then he just starts playing. And he like made up this piece, and like in real time, and it just blew my mind because I didn't think that I don't think you could do that. I also thought like you kind of weren't allowed to do that, you know, like you're gonna play something, you're playing from a chart or you're playing from sheet music. You don't just make something up. So when I bought this piano, God, maybe what, 15 years ago, just before Deja Vu started? Is that about right?
Yeah, almost
15?
Wow.
12, 13.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't really have any idea what I was going to do with the piano. I just felt like I deserved one because I had been like 10 years since I graduated with a degree in piano. And so, I was just like, you know what, maybe I'll try that thing out. And, since I'm a little crazy, I'll keep myself honest. I'm going to make it a podcast. So I would sit down, I would get my recorder, and I would put it down and say, like, win or lose, this thing's going out on the internet. And I often lost. Okay, so like many of these improvisations, you don't want to listen to. But every once in a while there was a gem, and this next piece actually was one of them. Enough that after I did it, I was like, wow, that was so satisfying that I didn't actually do another improv for several months again after that. I intimidated myself. But yeah, so we kind of rearranged it and worked it up a little bit for the guys. This one's called New Brownstone.
Chris Christensen in a very nice bass solo there. Ooh, we get a jazz standard now. This is great. So have you all noticed that, like, as the years go on, the jazz standards, you look back, especially the love songs, they get a little creepier and creepier sounding. You know, it's just like there's usually a guy like singing to a girl, but in this way that just doesn't really fit today's, you know, day and age and societal standards and things like that. I mean, all of them were kind of appropriate back in the day, but not anymore. This one, I think, was not really appropriate even when it was first written. I mean, this is about trying to keep someone in a hole, basically. I don't know. It's called A Room Without Windows.
I'm gonna try to keep it not as fast as last time. That's about it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. A room without windows, a room without doors, a room where no guy but I can spy the charms that are yours. Like being a room down in islands, far from civilized shores. You and me in a room without windows, a room without doors. No bells will be ringing, no telephone calls. In our little well-secluded cell, the ceiling and walls, while dozens of males sit and chew their nails and hate me because you and me in a room without windows, a room without doors. If they said, friend, how would you like to spend the long hereafter? I'll tell them what we're after is a one-way ticket to no room without keyholes, room with no view. We'd like to reside there, hide there for an era or two, completely wrapped up in each other while the whole world ignores you and me in a room without windows, a room without doors. after is the one-way ticket to a room without keyhole, a room with no view. We'd like to reside there, hide there for an era or two, completely wrapped up in each other while the whole world ignores you and me in a room without windows, a room without windows, a room without windows, a room without doors. Yes. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, George Clooney.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you for
Bye,
coming.
Dan.
Sorry I gotta run, it's awesome.
Really dressed up the back of the room.
Yeah.
Very
Hey.
impressive.
I have on a scarf.
Have a good gig.
Thank you.
Where's the plane?
He's some place that I don't know. It's
Right.
like brass quintet kind of thing. I don't know where. Like Oswego? Yeah, I think he knows. Are you guys interested in doing the last two lines of this next song? Oh, beautiful.
The last two
Yeah,
lines.
Is it creepy?
you know the ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
JJ would love to.
Yeah.
And I tend to do what he wants to do.
All right.
And you're just,
I'm not familiar.
Oh.
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's that kind of.
Figure it
It's
out?
that kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can figure it out.
Come on in.
Okay.
This is my favorite song, so don't.
Mess it up.
Don't take it lightly.
No pressure.
Oh.
No pressure.
Kill it.
No
Is it just
pressure.
ooze? Is it just ooze?
Yeah.
And you're gonna tell us when this, oh God, this pressure lighting.
Sorry,
I know.
I accidentally.
I wasn't sure where it fit.
Oh, sure.
I was singing before it's coming.
Yeah.
So this song, your wife just asked, when is Dad singing your accompaniment to dinner now?
Oh, now? She says, oh, now?
Yeah.
They're watching. All the way in Colorado?
Yeah, we got a little live stream going on there, so you're all part of the show.
Oh, you guys can sense of it. Are you guys okay with me, like, live stream?
Right there.
Where's the slide? Where's the camera?
It's kind of.
Well, where's the
Oh,
royalties?
okay, I'm cool.
Yeah, you're not
I'm
listening.
not in it.
Everyone
Right?
from.
There are,
about
and don't do it earlier, Ryder, just the end. Yeah.
We can only see your.
It's like Facebook Live.
Something we think would be
What?
really
No.
great.
No? YouTube. It's YouTube? Straight up? Like I can Google this later?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there are two songs, and songwriting is kind of weird, right? Like, there's always different ways the ideas come or don't come. It's usually the ways they don't come that are frustrating. But this is one of two songs in the set where the initial idea actually came from a dream. The first one was the first song in the set, but this one, this is kind of an Americana song, a little bit of apolitical but somewhat patriotic philosophy of country kind of thing. I don't know, but I woke up with the first riff to it in my head in the morning of the 4th of July, which I thought was awesome. This is called "Oh Beautiful." There's a city shining on a hill. It's our home, so we've been told. Hard to stay within these faded city walls. And all the dreams and promises go cold. So we're walking down a long and crooked road. When we look back, we see the gates are closed. And as we find the hard and rocky country inside below. We're reminded of the words we used to know. Oh, beautiful, but we're walking on a dry, forgotten plain. Oh, beautiful, with only memories of amber waves of grain. We look around to see where we belong. Hard to see what is beautiful when what's beautiful is gone. But many years ago, our fathers had a dream. When it was time to start anew, they worked the land and built their homes out in the field, with the promise of some words they made true. Oh, beautiful, but we're walking on a dry, forgotten plain. Oh, beautiful, with only memories of amber waves of rain. We look around to see where we belong. Hard to see what is beautiful. As they plowed to build the fruited plain. Oh, beautiful, as they harvested amber waves of grain. We can pick up our shovels, make common ground of our own. I know we'll say those words again. I can't do it all alone. We'll look around and see where we belong. Hard to see what is beautiful. I need to see what is beautiful. So help me see what is beautiful.
Thank you guys.
That's what we are. Down to business. You guys did great too.
So we got just a couple of songs left. Next one is a nice story. And by the way, Sophie, I'm so glad that you're watching now. Hi, Sophie. So, now she's clapping. It's funny. I'm like watching my score here, and I'm getting like messages from your wife and daughter.
I was feeling
like
bad
popping
about
up.
that.
It's okay. It's
Sorry.
okay. It's just not in the way of the notes, but it's just kind of like, oh, it's a little present each time I look over at the screen. So this next song is kind of a funny story. This is actually about Pete and his daughter Sophie, who could not be here tonight, but she's with us in internet spirit.
In the camera.
In the camera. She's with us in the camera. I feel like every time I tell the story, I get so used to how I tell the story that I'm starting to think I'm over romanticizing it or getting it wrong. But you tell me how accurate this is. There was a time when Sophie was like only 5 years old, and she went up. He went up to tuck her in for night. And she wanted him to tell her a story goodnight. And poor Pete was like, I don't know what to tell her. I'm a geek, I'm a nerd, I read comic books, what do I do? So he told her the story of Anakin Skywalker. And I thought that was adorable. She really liked it. So this kind of turned into this sort of story where she ended up being crazy about this, kind of still loving the little girl things, but loving these other kind of stories that she told at the same time. And I worked really hard on the song. I kept it secret. I even contacted his father to find out some stories about when Pete was 5 years old. And I came over one day to present him with the song. And ironically enough, the day that I presented the song to him was the day of Peter's vasectomy. So there's kind of a circle of life thing going here, right? Circle of not life.
That's funny.
This is called She Believes. What's do for you? Sure. Yeah. She likes kittens, pebbles, fairies asleep in the trees. It's all make-believe. All I know is heroes and spies, just some comic book lines. They have nothing to do with those little girl things that she sees. So because of me now, she believes in Star Wars and butterflies, in love and the Enterprise, and Wolverine. La la la. I wonder each night as I turn out the light, do they ruin those little girl stories that live in her dreams? Are they too extreme? But I remember this small boy of 5 and the cars that I drive, Transformers that crash into dinosaur bones and explode. I turned out fine, so now she believes in kryptonite and clear blue skies, kaleidoscopes and kitty pies. And when she dreams, she's young in a world where
can never do what those superheroes do. But if it's a hero out there I can't be, I'll tell stories that soar like Steve Turnell holding it down in a very complicated 5/4 beat there. One last story for you guys. This is a kind of a sentimental favorite of mine. Steve and Eric and I, as I said, about 15 years ago, we were in this group called Deja Vu, and this is like a group I found on Craigslist shortly after buying my piano. I knew a little bit of jazz. I barely knew how to read a jazz chart. We all kind of learned together. And it was, up until that point, I had never actually even sang and played at the same time before. I think that it was kind of being in a jazz group that sort of inspired me, like maybe I could try that. It was another thing that felt like really forbidden to me, like Dudley Moore, So this song, I had a fake book at home. I went home, was leafing through it. So this song is actually the first song that I ever tried to play and sing at the same time. And it's kind of evolved since then. Came up with a different version of it when I left the group. It's a little slower, a little sadder. I love it. This is one for my baby. Light enough for you?
Yeah.
It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So set him up, Joe. I've got a little story you ought to know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of the episode. Maybe one for my baby, and one more for the road. I got the routine, so drop another nickel in the machine. I'm feeling so bad, I wish you'd make the music dreamy and sad. Tell you a lot, but you've got to be true to your core. Make it one for my baby, one more for the road. You never know it, buddy, I'm a kind of poet, and I got a lot of things to say. And when I'm lonely, you simply gotta listen to me till it's talked away. That's how it goes. Joe, I know you're getting anxious to close. So thanks for the cheer. I hope you didn't mind bending your ear. Torch that I found must be drowned or it soon might explode. Make it one for my baby, one more for the road. One more for the long. Austin, Beach, and Rose,